Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary King, for being with us today. And I'd like to echo some of my colleagues' good work on the two-factor authentication. I know the difficulty of that, and I'm confident y'all are going to get the 5%. And I'd also say that using the new authorities in FTARA to get the FSA CIO under control of your own CIO is important. And if you think there are additional authorities that you need in order to have the right management structure in place, we're here to help. The one thing I would caution is saying that we're doing great work. Let's raise our gaze, as Speaker Ryan likes to say, and we should not be saying just implementing one part of a larger strategy is good enough. I think we should be talking about when 95% of the recommendations by the IG are approved, that's going to be great work. When there are not repeat findings, as you mentioned earlier today, Mr. Harris, that would be good work. Secretary King, has Mr. Harris been given a performance plan since you've been in your new role?
When Dr. Harris was directly reporting to me, we had a performance agreement around goals that would be accomplished, and those goals were accomplished over the 2015 year. That is related to the progress that we've seen in many areas of cybersecurity.
Has he been giving a progress review?
We met throughout the year for review of his progress and an end-of-year conversation about the overall performance. On each of those occasions, although I did express appreciation for the progress we were making, I also conveyed the urgency of continued progress on cybersecurity.
And we already said, he mentioned he got an outstanding performance. So my question is, and this is going to you, Mr. Harris, what is EDL?
EDL, which happens to have PII, is an investment that is an education locator. It allows the public, it's public-facing, it allows the public to reach out to anyone in the Department of Education that they need to reach.
And they are putting PII information in that?
It's PII, but...
And this is not FSMA compliant, is that correct?
That is correct, sir. It is PII, but we consider it low level. In other words, with the name and phone number, we consider it PII, but it certainly doesn't include Social Security numbers, bank information. So on the one hand, it does not have an ATO, and we are pushing it to get an ATO.
When will you get it done?
We're looking for the end of next quarter.
Great. 54 software programs that y'all are using are no longer supported by the vendor. Why is that?
To a large degree, many of the systems owners of these tools, sometimes it's an OS, sometimes it's an application or a middleware, simply didn't have the funding to upgrade them, or from a mission perspective, decided that it wasn't.
So what do you need to do in order to fix that problem?
We are looking to do three things. We're looking to either upgrade or retire 90% of those by June. The remaining will have to have documentation that says the Department of Education accepts the risk. We will absolutely not allow anyone to sit out there and just say, well, we'll do it at some point.
Secretary King, if that's accomplished by June, I would say that's a pretty significant achievement. Secretary King, and I'm not trying to be coy here, do you know what COBOL is?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the technical details of the coding language.
It's a coding language.
But I am aware of what COBOL is.
It was old even when I was going through university in programming.
I take exception to that, Mr. Hurd.
And y'all have over 1 million lines of code on that. However, we were told at the last hearing on November 17th that the Department of Education does not use COBOL. Is that correct, Mr. Harris?
And I was referring to outside of the FSA ecosystem, and that is why I said we don't use it. I wasn't talking about FSA, to clarify.
So now that that FTARA is giving you more authorities in which to oversee FSA, what is your plan with getting rid of COBOL?
It's a good question, and based on the information I'm provided, COBOL is old. However, the latest version is considered secure. It has all the patches. From a business perspective, FSA is indicating, the FSA CIO is indicating that their business decision is to stay on the current version of COBOL and continue to keep it updated. I do want to engage the CIO at FSA about moving away from COBOL, not because the software version is insecure, but because the talent necessary to manage that platform is, as you can imagine, dwindling.
And I'm going to echo my colleagues from South Carolina's comments, is that in months from now, if these 54 programs, we don't have a plan on getting rid of them, if we don't have 100% achievement on two-factor authentication, you know, we should be asking larger questions here. And with great responsibility comes great accountability. And we're going to make sure y'all have all the responsibility, have all the tools you need to get the job done, and we're going to hold you accountable. I yield back.
Thank the